Killing machine.
Lying here, this is how everything ends. No more for these kings of men. This is how.
There we go. There we go. Rookie error and all that talking without it starting. So yeah, I'll start again. So yeah, Crazy Killer Machine, Carl with you, and we've got a strange stream for you today. A couple of things. First is there's a 5 minute delay, so if you ask questions, it's going to be 5 minutes before I get back to you. But we have a real good stream to watch. We've got in the Keyforge online team events. It's both in the UK, both top of the list, top of the league, 3-0. It's North England versus South England, I believe. I think BBB are all on the south coast, and Team Archimedes up in Leeds. And all three games are going to be played today. So yeah, super excited to be involved. It's a little later than I expected, and I've let the guys wait for a little too long. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump straight in the game and tell them I am ready. Let's go and good luck. So first game we've got today is between John Pickavance. You'll know John if you went to the UK Vault Tour in Birmingham. John was the winner of the UK Vault Tour, and he's playing for Team Archimedes on the bottom of my screen. And then we've got David Morgan Bradley at the top for Team BB. I should be seeing these cards. I can't see the cards. For some reason. They said they were going to have open hands, but I don't want to delay them anymore. So what I'm going to do is get them to carry on. Let's see if it's over to you. So yeah, we were going to. The reason it's on delay is we wanted to see both hands, and we wanted to be able to obviously give a bit of commentary on who's doing what, so you could see who's playing what and the thought pattern between the two players. But we're not there just yet. Let's see if he wants to try it. So yeah, a little bit of I don't know why I've put some royalty-free music on in the background. David's trying to claim a win. I don't think so, David. He can't see you. Yeah, some royalty-free music on in the background. It's probably going to put me to sleep seeing what's going on at the minute. But let me leave this game. See if they send me a new one. But yeah, if for people that are watching this interview at the minute, thanks for joining. I'm going to be putting the games up on YouTube afterwards as well. So I'm gonna, let's get rid of this music. It's doing my head in already. Sort of royalty-free music. I'll put it on afterwards. But yeah, thanks for joining. I can't necessarily see who's in, and I again can't see any questions if questions are being asked. Let me see if I can do that while. Let's go, John. Try and do it without showing everybody the password. I'm in. We're in. Right, I can see the chat, but now there's a chat. It's a 5 minute delay, so I've just seen there. Looks like Kate's in and Cryogen Stewart's in as well. So yeah, good to see you both. So let's crack on. Hopefully this time we can see the cards. If not, he's calling revenge. So having a quick look at the decks, we've got no, I can't see the cards. So I'm gonna have to play blind here and see who does what. This is gonna be interesting. So can't see either card, either set of cards. So let's see what happens. So we're starting with, let's have a quick look at the deck. So David's deck, we've got the Ballinger Gold Gorgeous Baron. I mean, it's every set that we'd like. Oh no, that's disgusting. We're not even going to look at the decks at the minute. So John started with a Quixelstone. Oh, they're going to be ridiculously fast. All right, here we go. Let's try and keep up. So John started with a Quixelstone, which means David's only been able to play one creature. It's a good creature to be playing, called in Dis, and plays a Stealer of Souls. So it's going back to John. Let's have a look at what's going on. So yeah, quick look at the decks. We've got David with Ballinger, who is Dis Logos Shadows. What we got? Ghostly Hands. It's going to be ridiculous. Miasma is going to slow him down. Two principles and two miasmas. You know what, David, I hate you already. Not as much as I hate John, who's played a Quixelstone turn one, but I mean, there's a lot of hate going on in this game. What we got? Brobnar. It's not a bad Brobnar. We're going to clear some boards with some Berserker Slams and some Volcano. Memelith as well. Flank Strike Tributes. All right, yeah, John, this is disgraceful. It's a good deck. Both good decks. So looks like they're both super controlly. Um, yeah, both John. It looks like John's might be able to deal with the board a little better, maybe, other than obviously other than David's Gateway to Dis. What else we got that could do something? A couple of Poison Waves. John's Creed got playing with Brobnar. Poison Waves are going to be nout but a scratch. So David goes with a Neurosiphon and an Effervescent Principle. We're not going to see any Amber. We're going to see no creatures at all. So John's just playing straight into his actions and his artifacts. So he plays an Imperial Road. Look at an Imperial Road is play a Saurian creature out of turn, so it's an Omni, and then getting to play it play it in stun. So discards Hand of Dis. Why would you not? He's got no creatures. And Stealer of Souls is reaping with Stealer of Souls. Still can't play any additional creatures. This is going very, very quickly. So let's have a look at what is going on. Everything seems to be running all right. We've got Ollie in, Tom in, Cryogen, Stuart. Good to see you. Let's have a look. We've got John Pickavance, Vaults champion. Yep, we love a Vaults champion. Cheers, Tabletop Gaming Magazine. But as it stands, no creatures because of that Poxy Quixelstone. We've got David on 3 amber, John on 4 amber, and we go into a library access turn. So Wild Wormhole into a Twin Bolt. Good enough for an amber. We've got an Esoterra, which is no good right now because nobody's ever going to forge a key. And 4/4, an Esoterra on the board with a Quixelstone, a Transporter Platform. I mean, are we returning them creatures? I don't know. And an Imperial Road, which is Omni play a Saurian creature, but it comes in stunned. Yeah, super interesting. So I've never seen either of these decks being played before. Obviously, everybody that is playing is part of a team that's got a perfect record, 3-0. I know the last game between Joe Rufino and Kate is they have both gone 3-0 personally within that 3-0 record. So yeah, regardless of how these first two games go, if it is a 2-0 win by one of the teams, we've still certainly got something to play for that last game. And yeah, looking forward to seeing that, and I'm sure there's going to be some sledging happening. But yeah, so John has discarded the Paraguardian, discarded the Theocenturion, plays the Senator Shrix, and does decide to exalt. So Shrix, I'm sure everybody that's watching knows by now, but again, just to clarify, means that you can use any amber that's captured on Senator Shrix or held on Senator Shrix. It doesn't have to be captured. To forge a key, which puts John, even if he does nothing else this turn, on check, and Esoterra is not strong enough on his own to get rid of that Shrix. So David's going to have to do something next turn, but I can't see his bloody hands, so I don't know what he could do. Let's have a look at his deck. What has he got? He's got a Dance of Doom that could get rid of it. He's got a Principle's going to do note. A Twin Bolt's going to help, because then he could kill it with the Esoterra. Oh, dear. That's probably it, because Shadows ain't going to help him unless he's got a Miasma, and then hopefully draw into one of the raw damage cards. But yeah, it's what it is. So everything looking like it's slowed down a little. So David has gone into, so he has gone into a Miasma. He's played a Ghostly Hand, which is never a bad card to play. Gone into a Miasma, so at least means John can't forge this turn, and plays a Skeleton Key. Why not? So it's an artifact. Quixelstone does nout against artifacts. Yeah, interesting to see what people say about Quixelstone, because it's one of those cards, people that know how I play, and I'll talk about this until something happens on this next turn. But people know how I play. I like cards that make you play better. You know, they don't work just because you played them. Stone's certainly one of them. The only one I don't like that does that is Heart of the Forest. But while we're talking, Silvertooth does go down, and he discards the Shadow Self. So regardless of what happens next, David can forge. Let's have a quick look at John's deck. Has he got anything that's going to stop him from forging? So we've seen the Tribute. We've got nothing necessarily in Brobnar that's going to do much. Taking any Amber. We've got no Tinsorian. So it probably looks like I'm going to put money on. Again, if I could see the hand, fantastic. But I think we have got a key being forged by David this turn. So Strix is Reaping and Exalting. Again, oh, it's disgusting and dropping an Axiom of Gris. So John's definitely up there for nearly two keys. Yeah, so I go back to that train of thought. We've got John on 2 keys ready to forge. Again, David's just forged. Might have another Miasma in hand, but again, it's just delaying the inevitable at this point. Yeah, cards that make you play better. I mentioned it about things like Doom Sigil in the new set. It gives everybody poison. Is it poisonous? Not poisonous skirmish, poison. Um, and cards like that. Stone's certainly one of them. So, oh, top of my tongue. The Dis artifact that creature dies, gain an amber. Soul Snatcher. But there we go. Those sorts of cards, I like them. Is probably the long way around of what I was just saying. We have. Okay, so David's dropping a Speed Sigil, plays a Nexus. You. Oh dear. Okay, uses a Nexus, comes in ready, drops a Nerve Blast to do 2 damage to Shrix, uses the Transporter platform, and returns Nexus back to his hand, which is quite tidy. Means he can play Nexus again. Uses the Skeleton Key, puts it on Nexus, captures 1. So yeah, tidy turn with Speed Sigil. Removes Shrix's Ward with the Nerve Blast, but unfortunately John got to use the Amber on Shrix to forge the key. So let's have a look. So John is on 1, significantly lower down on his Amber now though, because he had to use the Amber. Use the Amber there. John has ran straight into a King Can. Comes in ready, puts a Translator on King Can. So obviously he then becomes able to use a non-Star Alliance creature. I'm guessing Shrix is going to be doing some Reaping and Exalting, but we'll soon see. But back to David. So both in exactly the same position, 1 key each, 3 Amber each. John a little better off with his board state, but it's certainly not done. It's a long way away, but let's have a quick look. Let's have a look what's going on. So David drops a Mind Barb, discards a Narp. Disgusting. Oh no. So Kate's just seen. Did he discard a Narp previously? How far back are we? He did. He discarded a Narp, and Kate's 5 minutes behind. She's going to see him drop another Narp. Oh, she's gonna fall out of a chair. Um, Hilarious. So played Dance of Doom, destroyed all creatures with a power of 2. Who had a power of 2? None of David's. Just the King Can, of course. It was the King Can. Use a Speed Sigil for Pit Demon and steals 1. Tidy turn. So there we go. It swung ever so slightly back in. I say slightly back. It's a phenomenally even game. It's not necessarily. I was going to say it swung back in David's favour, but Speed Sigil's helping both peoples, and that Stone is obviously benefiting John at the moment. So yeah, still anybody's game. God, dear, I feel like I'm just talking. I'm talking. Just grab a second. Fed up hearing my own fucking voice. Language might get a bit salty as we get towards the third game as well. So if anybody's watching, we might be by the watershed by then. Definitely if we didn't put these 35-minute time limits in, because to fuck if I'm sat here for 3.5 hours watching people play games or one gaming anyway. Anybody drop? I haven't looked at the decks yet. Anybody drops a Heart of the Forest, I'm literally going to walk to Leeds or the South Coast and slap you. While that's happened, so John is moved into a Star Alliance turn. He's dropped a Wallace, dropped a Universal Translator to put the Wallace back in his hand, gaining loads of amber, loads of stuff for Wallace, and John's in place for his second key. This is what happens when I go off on tangents, is I miss everything that happens. So we'll forget John's Star Alliance turn. You can see it all in there in the chat. But yeah, we are moving into a Shadows turn for David. Is he's going to drop that second Miasma quite possibly? What's going to be good for him at this point? Poison Wave's going to do him no favours, other than the Amber, obviously. Using the Transporter platform to bring Nexus back to his hand. Nice. Poison Wave's done some damage. Both Poison Waves will be good for you. So dropping 2 Poison Waves to do some serious damage. Drops in the Miasma, so John won't be forging. And the Nexus comes back in with a Speed Sigil to use the Imperial Road for no reason other than I was going to say tapping it, but we don't speak them nonsense words, exhausting it. So good turn, great turn there for David. Doesn't take John off check, but stops him from forging with the Miasma. Oh God, we've seen a Brobnar turn. Oh, this is going to go well. A Gargantuous Scrapper, best card in the game. Nah. Oh dear. See what I did there? I make myself laugh even if there's nobody else here. Discards the Alaka, plays a Flamethrower, so John is adding to that suite of artifacts, which is tasty. Tasty artifact suite. Oh, David, you disgusting beast. So, yeah, David forged his key and then used his principle to take John off of check and came in with an Archivist, reaped with Archivist to archive, and I really wish I could see what he's archived, but I can't because we can't see his hand. But everything now has certainly swung into David's favour, so I'm guessing BBB are, well, we're all gamers, so I was going to say jumping and shouting and cheering in the stands, but we're probably having a mini celebration while being extremely introvert, which is that's what we do, isn't it? We're not really a loud football stand sort of hooter and hollering bunch, are we? So I think that last turn must, or some of us are, some of us are just loud because we can't help it. So yeah, I think that last Logos turn by David must have rocked John a little bit because there seems to be much more thinking going off now about what John's going to do at this point. Because all David really needs is maybe a Logos turn with a Speed Sigil, a creature, and an action. I don't know what he's got left in his hand that might have an Amber. We haven't seen a lab work yet, I don't think, so we could be sat with a lab work. We haven't seen the second principle either. But John goes into a Star Alliance turn. In comes Wallace, or Walls. I'll forever call him Wallace. Returning robot cards back to his hand. Universal Translator, so he can use a non-Star Alliance creature. I'm guessing he's going to be using. Why would he use Shrix at this point? No, I won't give him the Amber. He's going to be using maybe Gargantes to do some killing. Yeah, what's he going to? Yeah, there we go. That's what I was. Oh, he went for Pit Demon. Interesting. Obviously, Pit Demon can steal some Amber, but we've seen a lot of Dis. We haven't seen a lot of Dis. Probably a better shout than what I was going to do. I'd have taken the Archivist because I'm expecting to see some Amber Pips come out, put him straight onto check. But John is now back on check after using the transport platform, dropping a Commander Chan, attaching the Universal Translator back to Chan because when you use your transporter platform, you bring a creature back and bring a creature back along with any upgrades attached, which is then taken back the walls and dropped it on a Chan. And great turn. So John's back up to check. What's John got in his hand if David gets up to check that he can do? Not a lot. I can't see a lot where he's going to be able to take David off check if he manages to get there. So he's played a Quixo, comes in ready and fights Chan, draws a card, uses the Anomaly Exploiter to kill Chan, reaps with Archivist, who doesn't look like he's going to be getting onto check at this turn, but he's setting himself up quite possibly for a good turn this turn with that 2 archive. And even if he can't use the archives, he's got some good Logos creatures on the board. So it looks like he's going to be getting on to check next turn. It just depends on what John can do. So he's 5 amber off check. It's going to be a strong ask for him to get up to check at this point. He's only got 7 cards in deck. What's he got in his discard? We've got Berserker Slam would have been quite nice, but just to bring David down a little bit. He's used both though, unfortunately. Well, let's have a look. So we've got 18 minutes. Hopefully he's not going to... There we go. So he's dropped a Saurian turn. Interesting. So what can we see? What can we expect to see? We've got him. So graft a card. Well, it's an action, so he can't do it just yet. But dropped another artifact. You can graft it on and trigger the play effect of a grafted card onto Memolith. New set being shown or announced. FFG's in-flight report. I know it seems super early as it's only a couple of weeks away and we've only had a couple of weeks of mass mutation, but with everything that's happened, obviously China had it for a couple of months before we did and we were 2 months late anyway. So realistically, I mean, the in-flight report, we were expecting to see the new set anyway, but while that's been said, flank strike to gain the amber, does a damage to Shrix, interesting. Discarded a raptor, discarded a Horspex, and reaps with Shrix, but doesn't ward him, doesn't exalt him quite sensibly. So for me, those 2 discards would say he's probably digging for something to take David off check if he can get there. I'm still struggling to see what that's going to be. Let's have a look what it could be. Where is it? There we go, that's what I'm looking for. So David's still thinking he's only got to get to 2. So I mean, worst case scenario is he goes Logos and he can reap twice, and then John's got to deal with it. I'm looking at John's deck, and obviously David can see John's deck. He's going to see that there's very little. We've seen the tribute. So there's very little else that, and the 2 Berserker Slams have gone. There's very little else that John could do, even if all David did was reap twice. He's gone with Logos, so that could be the option. He hasn't taken his archive, so he's fighting, which is interesting. Playing the long game. There's a lab work, so there's the extra amber. So we did say that there was a lab work still sat there. There's 3 in archive. Sensible thing that says there's 4 in archive when he reaps with Archivist. What we're going to do, John. I'm not going to call it as he's still got out. He's got nothing out here in his archives that are going to help him. In his artifacts that are going to help him. He's got nothing in there. What has he got in his discard? He's gone Starlights. What have I missed? Nothing, I don't think. Return Universal Translator to hand. It's not going to help him too much. Calvin's no good. Quadricorder? We haven't seen the have we seen the quadricorder? We haven't. We've seen the zap. Plays the quadricorder, gets up to check. Oh, this could be gross. How have I missed this? Reaps to get him on to check. Transporter platform, so yeah, it's all good and well, John, but you've got to take him off 6, mate. Yeah, it's the hammer for translator. Unless we see a quadricorder, this is a good game, I think. Oh dear, there it is. Great play. Great play. Yeah, dropping the quadricorder. John's back up. Suitably ashamed to say that I didn't see that, but I didn't see it. I saw it. I just didn't see it until it was probably too late to be able to respect myself for it. So Dis is coming out. Oh, it's a couple of Shulers. Could have been anything here. He's redrawn his deck. It could have been miasmas. It could have been anything. But he's at least got to have both of them Shulers in hand, or we could be in trouble. I say we. I'm on no one's side. I hate everybody equally. Gateway to disc clears everything. A couple of Shulers comes out, takes John off check. A Snudge is interesting. Snudge obviously returning artifacts. Uses the Quixel Stones, probably a good idea. Plays one Schuler. Plays the second Schuler. Unbelievable. Excellent. So that, oh dear. So it's hysteria'd it back. All right. Good luck with this one. Oh, yeah. Leaves it till turn 13 to absolutely mutilate the board by getting rid of the Quixel Stone. Now I'm probably going to be comfortable enough to say that's game. Trying his hardest, checking everything out, chucking out Calvin a couple of times, Translator a couple of times, plays a Paraguardian who's not going to do much. And that's a game for David, 1-0 BBB. Oh my god. Oh, it's disgusting. We'll give him props where props due. Excellent game, especially end. That end was disgusting. Um, being able to get rid of that Quixel Stone with the Snudge. Yeah, we called it there, David. David recognizing that the disc turn was ridiculous. Yeah, there we go. So 1-0 BBB definitely went left and right. There's a bit of a cordial back and forth. Forget being cordial. This is Robbie saying, ah, you dick. I don't give a shit if you beat me, you're a dick. But no, that's why I don't play competitively because I'm not allowed more than anything. But no, fair play to the both of them. Excellent community, good pair of guys. Super good game by the end of it, and you can see why people are going 3-0 when they're playing decks that, on the face of things, don't necessarily look spectacular. I'd probably call, and we'll have a look at the decks in a second, but I'd probably call. Let's have a quick look at them now. Actually, I'll let them load up while we're going, because while I'm streaming, loading decks takes forever. Nope, not that one. This one. But yeah, both decks obviously they both know very well. Would I call any of them as spectacular decks? I mean, I won't look at Johns and get excited. He obviously knows how to play it phenomenally well. I'd probably get a little more excited looking at David's, just because it does more things. But Johns does one thing phenomenally well. So, they've left me talking on my own. Pair of dicks. So I'll leave the game as well. I'm gonna have a quick look at both of their decks. But yeah, I'm just gonna have a quick look through. Nobody's saying anything in the chat because they know I'm not going to listen to them because they're a bit far behind. But it looks like we've fixed, so we're going to be able to see the cards for the next games, which is excellent. There's an Altark Grist deck as well. That's a bit novel, quite nice, quite tidy. Yeah, keeping the walls in hand. If you're gonna, I think that you're gonna look at that Quixel Stone being the clutch card in the deck, but it's not. I think it's the transporter platform. The transporter platform in that deck is what makes it work, or in my opinion, anyway. Obviously, but again, what do we know? So let's have a look at BBB. We'll have a look at the SAS scores. I probably shouldn't be doing this because it just everything slows down phenomenally while I am on my stream. So Ballinger, Gold Gorge's Baron, 72. So I'd certainly suggest that John's deck isn't that high, maybe mid 60s. I'm going to call 67. I haven't had a look at it yet, but let's have a look. I've shamefully bought more decks than I care to admit, so guessing SAS scores becomes a useless commodity. But here we go. So we've got Seb coming up next for Archimedes, but let's look at John's. Cheers, John, for giving us your name. That's why I couldn't spell it earlier. 61, so significantly less than I thought it was. So again, John doing what he did with and I'm going to clarify this, and I say this every time I talk about SAS scores. They're great, but they're not the be all and end all, and there's the proof. 61 keeping up with the 72, and just because John knew how to play the deck, fundamentally, yes, it came up a little bit short, just because of the power that that David had in his disc suite. But there you go. So what I'm going to do now is the other game's probably just about getting ready. Let's have a quick look at Discord on my phone. Oh, they're having a little bit of a kiss and a cuddle in the Discord. Oh, you played well. No, you played well. No, you played well. Makes me sick, man. A bit of controversy. Let's get controversial. Let's take the time limits off. Then everybody's going to get upset. And rightly so, playing a tournament without time limits, what are we doing? But yeah, let me drop this. I'm going to come back in the next, let's say, 5 minutes. So I'll just switch to a B right back screen, and there we go. Make sure we remember the microphone this time. So we are back with game 2, and just to make things interesting, they've swapped sides. So first thing, we can see hands. Excellent. Second thing, BBB is now on the bottom. Archimedes now on the top. We've obviously got BBB with a win, so we're looking for Seb Ball to come back with a win with the insightful map maker to take it back to 1-1. And obviously Pedro Gaspar Santos, or I should say Pedro because it's a mouthful. I've got the most mouthful of a surname than anybody, so please don't take it offensively. But Pedro, we're going with Jupitard. That's Jupitard if you're in the south, but when you're up north, it's Jupitard. The spawn of Orangeback. So I am going to let the guys go, let them know I'm ready. And let's see what happens. So we can see opening hands. We can see open hands. We can see cards in hand, which is excellent. Stuart, Cryogen, thank you for sorting that out. I've seen that you fixed that. And we're in. We're off to go. So hopefully, I'm not talking nonsense now and guessing what might happen. We can actually see. So Screech Bomb, good first turn card. Bobnar for second, going with a War Drama, a Troll, and a Troll. So there's certainly no Quixel Stones in this game. I've just remembered how quick Seb plays. He plays as quick as I do, so my voice is going to be shagged after this. But Seb is dropping a Witch of the Eye, dropping an Ancient Bear, Nocturnal Remover, so there's no point with playing Brobnar next turn. Pedro, sorry, pal. And we are at 1 and no amber, but I think we've seen now as many creatures as we actually saw in the last game already, which is excellent. Pedro goes with a Shield of Justice and a Zachiel. Zachiel is ready and fighting with a War Drummer, and he goes straight into the Witch of the Eye, which is Route 1. Route 1 Keyforge. If you see a Witch of the Eye, you kill it however you can. So let's have a look. Everything seems to be still running fine. So more stuff coming out. We've got an autocannon, so it's Brobnar Fest at the minute. An autocannon to gain an amber. Autocannon dealing 1 damage to each creature when it enters play. And dropping a smash to do some stunning. He's stunned Ramil. Obviously takes a damage on smash because it affects both sides of the board. And then plays a smith for the single amber. Because even though he's done well getting more creatures out, 2 in no universe is more than 5. We're going more Brobnar. It's probably good. So let's see what's got in the hand. So a War Song is an excellent card when you've got 3 Brobnar creatures on the board, because you are going to be you're going to be gaining some amber for fighting. So let's clear that board, do some reaping. Oh, well, that was interesting. That's super interesting. So we played the Head the Huge. Why has he done that? Let's slow down a second and think why he's played the Heb. Or Hebe. Hebe. Why would you play it? I'd have just binned the sucker off at that point, I think. Anyway, what we got. So let's look at some hands. We've not even looked at the hands yet. So we've got a Pit Demon that's just been dropped and not much else has happened. There's a Control the Weak in hand for Seb, which is going to be quite tasty, although he's not got anything else to back it up in Dis. Virtuous Works has just been dropped, which is going to take Pedro all the way up to 9 amber at the minute. 10 amber when 9 amber because he's removing a stun off a Ramil. So he's looking in a good place. Is he going to fight with doing no damage to get rid of that Pit Demon? And personally, I would not. So there we go. Excellent. He decided to reap, which is exactly what I'd have done. Leave that stunned Pit Demon right where it is. And he's got, it looks like he's got quite a tasty turn next turn, especially if Seb pulls himself up all the way into check and beyond with a Drumble sat there. Poltergeist to do, I suppose the square says cell ready for a Screech Bomb. If I'm, I suppose if I'm Pedro at this point, it's looking at another Brobnar turn with the board state. Seb's gone out with a Dew Fairy, obviously taking a bit of a whack itself. Yep, oh, interesting. He has gone Dis, so he's Poltergeisting the Screech Bomb. At this point, that's an interesting time to do it. I don't know if I'd have done it at that point. Plays Life Ward, gets more Amber, gets a Pit Demon, gets the Amber, nearly gets on to check for his second key, and Seb's still sat there at 2 Amber. Plays the Drumble, might as well, because if he's nowhere near that that 7 trigger, let's just get it out as a creature that can fight and reap. Dew Fairy's reaping and doing more Dew Fairy things, gets an extra Amber. Mamook is out to make Pedro's keys 7, so he's not going to quite get there yet. Looks like, again, another really good Brobnar turn if that board can stay out there for Pedro when he's got Pingle, Troll, and Crump in hand. It's probably shaping up to potentially be the right time for Seb to drop that Control of the Week. And obviously, if he's choosing Dis at that point, he's probably in a good position. But he didn't. Played Ritual Basin. Oh no, yeah, sorry, yeah. So we just looked at Seb's turn, so it's a bit of thinking from Pedro. He's gone Brobnar as we'd probably expect him to do so. There's a lot of amber sat there on the board. There's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of stuff in his hands. So what we got, I think Seb's backed himself into a corner a little bit with his Brobnar, but I don't know if he drew Coward's End last turn. He must have done. He must have drawn Coward's End last turn because this is. Oh no, ignore me. No, I'm thinking save the pack. Jesus Christ, it's getting late. Yeah, it's wasted. I think he's sort of hamstrung here a little bit with his Brobnar set. Just get rid of him, man. They've got to go. You can't change yourself that much. Control the Weak into Dis. Okay, so there's a Dust Imp, which it would be tasty if he got the Dust Imp with his Mighty Javelin instead of Mighty Javelin. Sorry, with a Mind Barb. So there is still a Ember Imp that can come out, which is going to cause some damage. Oh, especially now when there's no Brobnar creatures on board and he's just drawn a load of Brobnar cards. So we can only play 2 cards. Out comes the Ember Imp, stays alive. Only playing 2 cards if he goes Brobnar. Nothing to deal with it. That's disgusting. Great. That's super unlucky for Seb. I mean, it's super lucky for Pedro, but it's how it happens, how it works. Drumble's reaping. I'm guessing Stealer's going to be actioning and stealing. I don't think he's got anything necessarily he should be fighting with. I mean, he's in too good of a position here to. I mean, you just race to the end, surely. Yep, reaping, stealing, game on. So Seb gets his first key, goes Brobnar, can't do too much because of that Ember Imp. Pingle is going to whack him, Heb, and his own autocannon is going to whack him to put 2 damage on. Then he's going to add insult to injury and hit more of his board. There's his 2 cards. Flame Thrist. He didn't have 7 or more, so he's not losing any amber. Discard is probably the right way to go at that point. Get rid of the anger, get rid of the Coward's End, free your hand up of that Brobnar that's been filling it up, unfortunately. Back to Pedro. I mean, at this point, it'd be silly to say anything other than Pedro's got this. Hysteria. I mean, even a Hysteria at this point, it's not gonna stop him. He's got nothing in hand to capture any amber. Why he's gone? Why? Why he's gone Sanctum at this point? I'd never know. This is why I'm not a competitive player. Because I'd have just reaped my way with the Brobnars, kept the Sanctum for next turn, and made Seb deal with it. But has Seb got anything in deck that's going to take him off of massive 13, 14 amber. Definitely not. He's definitely not going to play his Iron Obelisk or anything like that at this point. But swings and roundabouts. He's on 8 amber. Got some more creatures out on the board, and he's on check for his final key. Whew. I'm going to slow down a second. There's the Hysteria. A little bit too late. A little bit too little, too late. There we go. Seb's dropped the hammer, concedes of his own accord. I always like that tax. Don't let anybody win. Keep the fate in your hands. Just concede. Yeah, I'd like to see what people would have thought at that point. Obviously, ultimately, it made no difference, but I think I'd have played Brobnar at the end, just reaped my way out and done some fighting, cleared the board, done something other. I don't know why I'd have played Sanctum. But yeah, there we go. Why is she saying, Carl, what have I done? Carl, go Seb. Let's go Pedro. What have I said? I don't know. Get told off for everything. So that's it. More subtle backslapping. Well played. Nice hand. Well done. Yeah, all the best. I'll chuck one in as well. And then I'll level them out with a... There you go. That'll do as well. We'll get them up, and then we'll knock them down. Yeah, just to keep them both grounded. Yeah, I mean, good game, great game. Super quick play by Seb, so it means now the final game it's all to play for, one each. So not only are both players 3-0, it's now 1-1 in the game, so even more to play for. So let's have a quick look at the decks and see what we saw. I mean, playing with Seb quite a lot. I know he plays quite quickly as well. I don't know Pedro all that good, all that well, other than him being in the team and being in KOTE. But yeah, both seem to play phenomenally quickly. I like playing quickly. I tend to play quickly myself. So yeah, it's just sometimes hard to keep on top of what's actually happening. So let's have a quick look at some decks. Let's look at Jupiter first of all. So 64, 14 amber on cards, which we saw. It's not super rushy, not super controlling. A lot of creatures. We saw it had a phenomenal amount of creatures on the board. But yeah, I mean, most of it's in just doing some smashing with some big creatures, reaping and killing, which is exactly what we saw from Pedro. So super well played. And with Seb 68, slightly higher, slightly less amber on his cards, but significantly higher control and rush. So I don't know. Again, on paper, you'd look at Seb's and say possibly, but at the same time, I mean, 15 and 14 has played incredible amount of games with it. Jesus. But it's what it is. It's what it is. You can look at percentages and SAS scores and all that goodness, but none of it makes a little bit of difference when you draw the perfect hand and get stuck into an unfortunate Brobnar 3-card hand and then have to discard it all. So it's what it is. It's what it is. But I mean, super quick game. What I'm going to do is instead of waffling, I'm going to chuck it back down onto the holding screen, and then I will get ready for round 3, which is all to play for, pride and the win for the team. So no pressure, but Joe, Kate, whoever loses, you'll never live it down ever for the rest of your life. So yeah, good luck. Right, I think we're back. Oh, let's see where that's on. There we go. There's a microphone. Right, I think we're back. It's all working. Let's have a quick look at this. Make sure the game's working. We could see the cards, which is excellent. Let me take it off studio mode, which is even better. So yes, we are. I've got a confession to make. I'm going to say I did it on purpose. Yeah, I lied to you all at the end of the end of the last game. You've all caught it, but I was still in a haze of how quickly I was speaking during how quick that last game was. So yeah, BBB are 2-0 winners, or 2-0 so far. It's not 1-1. It's not all to play for. BBB, no matter what happens in this game, have won this round of KOTE. But I did say at the start there is something to play for in this game. So Joe at the top for BBB with the Chief of Null Flat is 3-0 personally in all of his games. Kate for Team Archimedes on the bottom with the biggest pain in the arse deck name that we've had this week. Oh, she's cheating. She's using somebody else's deck. Kate, how dare you? It's not cheating at all. It's part of the rules. It's fine. Is using W. De Gemini, the Palace Baroness. So yeah, let's play for some pride. Well, more often than not, we've now got a 2-0 to BBB game, but pride is at stake to maintain your perfect record for both Joe and for Kate. So let's go. There we go. We'll do the same. We'll tell them good luck, and then at the same time, we'll, as John pointed out, between games, I'll troll them as well and tell them that I hate them just to knock them down a peg. What we got? So we've got Joe starting with a Hadrous Wall. So each flank creature is getting +2 power. Let's look at who's got what in the hand. Oh my God, Kate, I hate you. So Kate plays a Battle Fleet and plays the Mating Season, Tunk, draw, blah, blah, all that stuff happened. Basically, she got 3 amber and got her hand back. Joe has played a Brobnar turn out, so he has now a Grok on the board and he's got a Groggins on the board. And before I can even look at what Kate's got in her hand, she's gone with Logos. She's dropped a Time Traveler after a library access to draw more cards. Play a Twin Bolt, draw a card. Twin Bolt to draw a card. Help from Future Self to draw a card. Loads of Logos stuff's happening here. Kate's on 6 amber already. Still got 2 cards in hand. Spectral Tunneler. She has played the Scrambler Stone, so Joe's now not got any cards. I literally hate trying to keep up with TCO. Give me real life games any day of the week. Because I've that's just I'm just gonna, what I should just do is just blow up the chat. You guys can just read what's happening because I'm sure you can read quicker than I can say it. Joe goes into a Mars turn. He gets rid of Mars first because he has no Mars creatures. Discard sample collection. Discard. Oh my God! Discards total recall. Discards orbital bombardment just to clear that hand. Kate is now 1 key up, 3 amber up, loads of cards in hand. A monster Mars turn by the looks of things just about to happen. As I say that, she's called Mars. Joe has no keys, no amber. Kate has all the Mars stuff coming out, so she's got 2 Mother Guns dropping. Obviously can't use them this turn. Plays a Tunk, plays a Dominator. Mating seasons them back into her own hand to gain 4 amber, I believe, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, those Mars creatures, get them out, get them back. Joe goes with Brobnar, drops a Grunt Buggy. Interesting effects, certainly affects Kate at this point in time, so she's not forging, so a good time to play Grunt Buggy. Oh, drops a did he play? He's played Sound the Horns. He didn't play Burn the Stockpile. So where did all that amber go? Grumble, because I'm sure she was on 7. But anyway, now Kate's lost all of her board. Joe's up to 2 amber. She's not forging because of the Iron Obelisk and the 3 damage Brobnar creatures, to put it up to 9 amber. Away we go. More cards. So Kate plays a Poison Wave, do some damage to the Brobnar creatures. Plays a second one to do even more damage. Plays a Safe Place to look after her own amber. Plays a Nerve Blast to do more damage. Gee, ugh, disgusting. We've not even looked at the deck yet. And there's two routine jobs just for good measure. So what? So Kate's deck has a ridiculous Logos, an even more ridiculous Mars, and the most ridiculous raw damage Shadows, and with 2 routine jobs just for good measure. So this could quite easily be a 3-0-0 amber, depending on what Kate's got in hand. So she doesn't have any more steel in her hand at the moment. She's got a Chuff Ape. Oh, nice. She got a. Let's have a look. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? I can't keep up. Playing the game like this after 2 other games of commentating, I just don't know what's happening. So Joe comes out with his Sanctum. Let's get some amber on the board, Joe. So Joe's played his Gloam of Orm. He's got a Potion of Invisibility. We have a Barrister Joya, so they can't reap. There's only 1 creature on the board anyway. Chell the Safeguard, so he's taunted against that Barrister Joya. Dumar's going to do some Dumar's going to do some more fighting, I'm guessing, later on. Not much to fight at the moment, so it's probably just good for reaping at the moment. Joe's keys now cost 7 because of his own Grunt Buggy. Chuff Ape comes out with Taunt and Stun. All the Mars stuff's coming back. Interesting that she didn't use the Battle Fleet beforehand. Ah, here we go. Duh, duh, called it first. Called it first, you dum dum. Whether you win or not, what an idiot. What an idiot. I'm calling it. But yeah, never mind. At least she called it and told him anyway. I'll just call her out again. Do some trolling. Um, oh, she's saying. I mean, I don't think she needs to apologise too much. I think she's in a good position. She's been taken off check again. Loads of big boys have come out for the Sanctum side of things for Joe, so that grunt buggy's putting in work. Oh, don't commit seppuku. One, you're not Japanese, and two, I mean, it's a Keyforge game. It's a Keyforge game. If you do it, I think less of you. I mean, if you don't, let's not get into that conversation. But yeah, please don't kill yourself, sir. Don't kill yourself, Kate. It's not worth it. It's just very, very stupid. Anyway, while that's happening and sledging Kate, a gatekeeper's come out to capture 5 of Kate's 10 amber, which is quite spicy, especially now that the key's costing so much. Maybe you shouldn't get rid of all those marked creatures so quickly. Doom of the Martyr is going to heal some stuff. Prince Derek comes out. Always an interesting card to see. He didn't have 3 different houses. No, he didn't have 3 different houses, but still. You don't see him all that often. And then Barrister Joy reaps just to rub salt into the wounds. Barrister Joy obviously telling everybody else they can't reap, but reaps himself. So, what a dick. Oh, she's a dick. Oh, can I call a lady a dick? I'm going to. Yeah, equal opportunities and equal rights and all that. She's a dick. So Kate comes out, drops a lab work, archives. Can I see the archive? I can. She's archived archived the battle fleet. It's probably good. Get it out of the way. Take it out of sight, out of mind. Lab work into a Brain Eater, into an Esoterra. No keys for Joe. Twin Bolt. Who she twin bolted? It's almost like I think they can hear me. Every joke I tell. Oh no, I can't even be asked. Let him play. But yeah, I think he's listening. But there we go. He's clearly not. There's again, if nobody realised, there is a delay on this. People can't see other cards. There's a 5-minute delay. So, and I don't think Seb and Pedro's game took 5 minutes. So I think we're all right. So Joe is using Potion of Invulnerability. So there's going to be some fighting. Let's clear that board, Joe. So creatures can't take any damage this turn. Gang a Chieftain. Well, that's interesting. Why didn't he use Derek to fight first? Plays Gang of Chieftain to ready and fight with a neighbouring creature. Uses Prince Derek. Could have used Prince Derek twice, but there we go. Could he? Yeah, he could have fought and then readied and fought, but never mind. Prince Derek. We got Flamewalker Shaman to do 2 damage to Dodger. Take Dodger off the board. Groggins to make Groggins fight Dr. Esoterra. Oh no, he didn't go Sanct. Oh no, ignore me. That's why he did. I thought he went Sanctum. He didn't go Sanctum. He went Brobnar, as it very, very clearly says right here, Cal. Right here, Brobnar. Brobnar symbol. So he's gone Brobnar, and that's why he couldn't fight twice with Derek. But there we go. So Kate is going mad. She has now picked out the battle fleet. Let's go, Kate. Second time lucky. Please don't mess it up this time. She's thinking about it. She's thinking about messing it up. So we've got Battle Fleet in hand. John Smith. Ah, right. This is why she's taking the time to think. So Mother Gun, excellent idea. Then a Battle Fleet, excellent idea. What else has she drawn? So she has drawn a Dominator as well, which is quite tidy. So Dominator can go out. John Smith can go out, but can't do much. He's just going to be coming out and making himself key target number 1. I think John Smith was probably the first card that we identified in KOTE as being an insta-kill, but when he's coming out next to a Dominator, you've got no chance. Well, you've got some chance. What's he got in his hand? We got Mars Needs Amber, which is always a spicy meatball in any deck. We got Collect Worm that's not doing anything. Dominator's doing nothing. No raw damage in hand, so he's going to have to do some big fighting. Can he get rid of? No, because he can only fight. Groggins can only fight flank creatures, which he can't at the moment. So the only way to get rid of that Dominator is fight with Shaman, fight with. I suppose he could go Sanctum. Fight with Gatekeeper, which you're probably not going to want to do. If you want to get rid of that John Smith, you're going to have to do some fighting with some Brobner. But Kate's on 8 of 11 for a second key. Joe is still 4 of 11 for his first key. Personally, I'd be getting a Brobnar turn just to clear that Dominator. He's not, he's gone Mars. I'd clear that Dominator, clear that John Smith, because Kate has a turn. Kate has got a turn coming up. I mean, either Kate goes Shadows next turn and does some stealing and some fight and some damage. Damage would get rid of the Gatekeeper. Is it... Yeah, Mars. Yeah, well, I mean, why wouldn't you? Especially with the Smith on the end. The Chuff Ape's going to destroy a Collect Worm. Straightforward. She's got no Mars creature enhancer. She can't heal the Tunk. But you could sacrifice a friendly creature. Who are we getting rid of? Maybe get rid of the Brain Eater. Some 4 damage. He's not going to be destroying anything now, is he? Brain Eater. Brain Eater. Oh. Oh. Maybe we would have fully healed Chuff Ape then. Interesting. I suppose there's a key, an amber back and getting rid of a creature, but there we go. Barrister Joy is gone, so you can do some more reaping. John Smith doing John Smith stuff. Who would you ready? Yeah, Chuff Ape. I don't know if she's remembered that he's +2. I don't think she has. Because of the Hadrous Wall, the first card that was played. Row. Let's see. Let's see if she calls herself out. I don't know if that was on purpose or a mistake. Either way, he's gone. But now, Joya's got a +2, so the Think drone wouldn't kill Joya. But I mean, he's in a bad place anyway. Especially now that that Joe can't play a creature to Joya's right. Interesting. So Flamethrower to 1 with 1 with 1. Very tidy. Plays a Mugwump. We always like a Mugwump. Maybe it's just a funny word to say, Mugwump. 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 So yeah, we're having a fighty Brobnar turn, especially because of that potion of invulnerability, and then a war chest to gain loads of amber for doing some fighting. Now is probably the right time to drop that Shadows turn, Kate. Clear some board, clear house. Would you? John Smith's going to get taken away. Routine job to do some capturing, get you up to 10, or would you just? I'd find it very difficult. Yeah. Could have been interesting to go Mars again, do more Mars stuff, get yourself up to check for your second key, and then do some stealing next turn. But you're going to lose a lot of creatures here when you drop those poison waves. That's the problem. Again, Kate far better player than me. Joe exactly the same as well. So anything that I say, I'm probably wrong. So don't take what I'm saying for granted. I'd have gone Mars then and then probably lost from a position of supreme strength, what she's in at the moment. Yeah, up to 14 amber, loads of stuff, routine job, up to 16 amber, 17 amber with 1 on safe place. So still looking all right, still looking pretty good. Did put herself in a position where Joe would able to, yep, Esoterra would do something. You've kept that. How long you kept that in your hand just to do it? Out comes Doomer. Same Doomer? Different Doomer? Same Doomer. So Doomer's back. Oh, nice. No, not quite nice. No. Was that one friendly creature? Yeah, friendly creature. No, it's not happening this turn. So Kate's up to 6. Can she get up to 10? There's 1 in when she plays Recitera. Spectral Trunner is doing Newt. Rocket Boots on an Esoterra, maybe it's not quite worth it. What would I do at this point? 2, 2, and 2. She's just probably sledging through a deck here. Get the Mars stuff out. Yeah, there we go. Mars stuff. Mother Gun at least to kill something. Get out a Many and a John Smith. Much better turn next turn with the Shadows. Especially if one of the Mars creatures stays on the board, and she can use a pawn sacrifice to clear those two. Well, pick and choose which you'd like to get shut of. I'd probably get shut of the Brobnar boys, being as there's a grunt buggy and a war chest in the artifacts. What's she done? Oh, Joe's called him wrong house. Interesting. There we go. Very, very polite, very kind. You're gonna let him change manual mode. This is where it takes 15 minutes to change everything back around. Oh, who's saying what? So yeah, 5 minutes behind. Looking at the chat, committing Shepherdchew. Dan, Dan. Changing it. It's fine. Oh, he's called it. It's fine. Oof. What would he have changed it for? It'd probably gone Brobnar. But yeah, I mean, it's just as good of a turn. I don't think he was losing out that much. Oh, to draw into a burn the stockpile next turn, that was quite tidy, quite nice. Kate's going Shadows. Dodger puts him up to 7 cost. Dodger's going to put him up to 8 cost. Pawn sacrifice to get rid of Zizix, quite probably. It's got to be Zizix that's got to go, surely. Yeah. Oh! Whoa! Joe, you killed your own John Smith? What? That's like sacrilege. You can't do that. Oh, that hurt. That was painful. I'd have got rid. Yeah, well, each to their own. Maybe I overrate John Smith. So Joe has gone with. He has definitely gone with Sanctum this time. Discards his Gloam of Orm because. Oh, interesting. Destroyed? He discarded it. Ah, Nexus is out, of course. Plays his Potion of Invulnerability, plays Barra, plays Golden Aura, fully heals Mugwump. What happened then? Kate was on check, missed it. There we go. Well, Kate wins. So 2-1 to BBB. So saved face for Team Archimedes, and Kate keeps her a win streak up to 4-0. So bittersweet, she keeps a win streak, but Joe would probably give up his win streak for winning the match. So GG both. And as always, I hate you. There we go. So yeah, they've done. They've all done themselves proud. Obviously, very, very different games. The first game was super close. The second close was an unfortunate draw for Seb, but still had to be really well played by Pedro. And then the third game started out phenomenally quick, but just Kate got out far too quick for Joe to catch up. So where do we stand? So that's where we stand. That's it. That's all 3 games in the space of 1 hour and 20 minutes, and that's me pissing around setting everything up as well. So just a personal note to all those people that thought time limits were a bad idea and wanting to play for 3 hours at a time. I hate you. I don't hate you. I just think it's not the right argument. Games need time limits. Yes, KOTE should have put, well, in my personal view, I know there's still people that think differently. KOTE should play with time limits. That's the reason that time limits exist in competitive games, but they didn't, and people tried to use that to their advantage when they pick the decks, which is fine. It's not the way I'd play, but at the same time, I'd it's hard to find. It's hard to find the argument that having a time limit is not the right way to go. It is categorically the right way to go, and they did the right thing. I'll stand by what they did. I'll commend them to say yes, they just had to pull the trigger and say round two there's a time limit. It's fine. You know, it's what it is. I'm playing in KOTE as well. It's not really affected. I couldn't care less. It's a non-competitive tournament as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, people want to win, but what you're playing for? You're playing to have a good crack in a time where we can't play any competitive Keyforge face to face. So it's the next best thing. And I think what Chris and the KOTE guys are doing to put this in place is phenomenal. It gets better every time they do it, and I'm super excited for what KOTE 6 is going to look like because I'm not going to say that we've had I've had a hand in it, but we certainly had a conversation with Chris, and Chris asked us what our thoughts were on something that they'd already, or my thoughts were something that they'd already considered as well. So I think KOTE 6 is going to be perfect. So much so as, well, you know what, Chris is going to announce it on Monday, but we're going to be much more involved with KOTE this year, KOTE with this KOTE 6 this season. So more, I'll not steal Chris's thunder, but yeah, we're super excited to be involved. So as always, thanks for watching. Next couple of days it'll be up on YouTube. If you want to watch it again, you want to scroll to your match, you want to see where you went wrong. Kate, you can see that Battlefleet was ridiculous, but it's not like I've recorded it or anything, and you just can keep sending it to you. But other than that, thanks everybody for watching. If you watched it live or if you watched it in the future on YouTube as a record, thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.